Class, we're going to talk about formulas today, okay? This is lesson 3-4 in your book, and a formula in math is used to help us find some information, okay? For example, it can help us find the distance that we travel by multiplying the rate that we're traveling, how fast we're going, times the time that we are traveling. If you're traveling at 60 miles per hour for 3 hours, how far have you traveled? 180 miles, right, 180 miles. Using this formula, you can find the distance if you multiply the rate times the time. That's a formula that you're very familiar with, right? But you can also find the rate if you're given the time and the distance. Okay? If you're given 180 miles and you traveled for 3 hours, the time of 3 hours, we know that 3 times the rate also equals the distance. So how would you solve this then? What algebraic equation do we have here? If we just use the numbers. Joey?
180 divided by 3?
Nope, not quite. You're close. That's how you solve it. But what's the equation I said? Just use these.
3 times
Right?
okay.
3 times r equals what? 180.
Minus.
Then to solve it, how would you prove that r equals 60? Remember I said prove it. We have to show our work here. How would you show your work to show it? Chase?
3 divided by 180.
And whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do the same thing on the other side. Okay? So if you do 180 divided by 3 on this side,
Oh, and then you divide by 3.
you have to divide this side by 3. That proves your answer. R equals 60. 60 what? The other thing that's important about formulas is that each of the letters in the formula stands for something. And so one of the most important things you need to do after you've found the answer is to find out what the answer means. What would this 60 mean? 60 hours?
No. Rates.
It's the rate, right. What does it mean?
The speed that we're going at.
Correct. 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. Right. So, you might be given a formula or some information like this. Like in this example. How would you set this up? You're given a distance of 162 miles and a time of 3 hours. How would you set up this one? John?
So first you would put G equals R times T.
Okay, good. You write E equals RT, and I can put those right together because that means multiply.
And then below G you would put 152. And then you would put 3, wait no, you put R, and then in parentheses you put 3 next to it.
Okay.
And then under the 160 you put,
What does this mean?
that means
That means multiply. Yep. And one of the things that I want you to do, whenever you substitute a number into a formula, I want you to put that number in parentheses. Okay? Now, from this, you could write 3r, but it's really important to put the number into the formula in parentheses. Okay? It helps you to figure out what operation you need. Alright? What if we had just 60 and 3 here? So we were given 60 and we were trying to find how many miles, and we wrote 360. What's missing in here? Time sign. Yeah, an operation symbol. Should be subtract, add, multiply, divide. Well, if you put these in parentheses, you know this means to multiply. Right? So, when you're putting a number into the formula, put it in parentheses. Now, solve this and prove that r equals whatever number. How do we solve that then? Come on, people. Raise your hands. Show me that you know. Kira?
We divide each side by 3.
Good. Divide each side by 3. 3 over 3 is 1. So 1r equals what?
54.
54 what? Miles per hour. Good. We're finding the rate. We're given miles. We're given hours. Good. And it's miles over hours. Let me show you how we should write this. Since this is miles over hours, this probably is a better label than MPH. MPH is used a lot in the real world out there, but this is also, in math, we should write this slash means per, okay? And it also shows that miles is on the top line and hours is on the bottom line. Okay? So that's why we want to write that way. Okay? Let's go on to another formula. I like to call this one the cricket formula. Did you know that crickets can tell you what the temperature is outside?
Yeah.
Take a look at this example in your book. It says you can estimate the temperature outside using the chirps of a cricket, using this formula. This is the Fahrenheit temperature is equal to N over 4 plus 37. What is N in our formula? N is, no, what does it mean? Stands for the number of chirps in how long? James? In 1 minute. Number of chirps in 1 minute. So, you're outside, sleeping in your tent, can't sleep, crickets chirping, you decide, oh, I wonder what the temperature is. So you count the number of chirps. 1 minute. And you get 100. If there's 100 chirps, what's the temperature? What would we do? What would we do? Keyshawn.
So you changed it into 100.
Good. So 100 over n, over 4, I mean, plus 37.
You divide.
Then divide first, right? Okay. What is that?
25.
25 plus 37. What's the temperature?
62.
62 degrees. Degrees what?
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit,
This
right?
actually works.
It actually works. Yes, it does. Michael.
What I learned, because I saw this a couple days ago in a magazine, is the number of chirps in 14 seconds is 40.
Oh yeah?
I don't know if that's like the same thing or not.
Worth a try. Count the number in 14 seconds.
14 seconds.
Find the temperature.
And then plus 40.
Yeah, yep, add 40. There's another formula that you have to know for this. This is the perimeter formula. And it's used to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Write this one down if you haven't gotten this yet. The perimeter of a rectangle. A rectangle has two dimensions, a length and a width. They're interchangeable. We can label this the length and this the width. It doesn't matter. You can flip a rectangle around in any way. One side is the length, the other side is the width. Then, how many lengths are there? 2 lengths. Right? And 2 widths. How do we find the perimeter of a figure? Of any figure. Generally. Add what? What would we need to add? No, it's of any figure. You add all the sides, right? Add all the sides. And so, another way to write this is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Okay? What if then you're given a length of 18.5 and a width of 12.5? The length is 18.5 and the width is 12.5. What do we need to do with those numbers, John?
We need to multiply them?
To find the perimeter? No,
No,
put them
we
into the
need to-
formula. How can we put these into the formula? Joey?
We have to multiply the length by 2.
Alright, let's just put them into the formula first.
Okay,
So we keep the 2 and write 2
so
times, and what times symbol are we going to use?
dot.
No, let's use the
Nothing.
parentheses.
Oh.
Remember when you substitute a number into a formula, put it in parentheses. Okay? Put the number in,
Parentheses.
repeat.
Put the number in parentheses.
Right. So 2 times the length plus, keep this 2. What do we write after the, right here? Dylan. Yep. 12.5. Now what? What would we need to do first? Multiply. 2 times 18.5. Well, what's 2 times 18? 36. So add 1 more since we have 2 more halves. 37. 2 times 12.5. 25. Good. Our perimeter is
What else was 62?
62. Yeah, we had that number already, didn't we?
That's a number 62.
62. Yep. What else do we need whenever we're finding the answer in a formula? 62 what? Well, we'd have to go back and look at Was this meters? Was it inches? Feet? Yards? Miles? Yeah. Let's say it's meters. What's our label then? Here.
2 meters.
Meters. Right. Not meters squared?
Nope. No.
Why isn't it meters squared?
Because there's no 2. Like a little.
When do we use a square unit?
If there's a square.
No. If we're finding what of the figure? James. The area. If we're multiplying the two numbers together, we're finding length times width, then we're finding the area, the space that it takes up. This is just the line that goes around it. Adding all these pieces together. That's the perimeter. Okay? So, use those formulas today. And your assignment is
See you next time.